Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into Kime. It's a concept from Karate Do.
Right, and we're using Karate Buddha Endless Search for Absolute Kime as our main source here.
Exactly. So, Kime, at its heart, it seems to be about this real intense focus, a bringing together of energy.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. A moment of convergence.
And what's fascinating, and what the book really highlights, is how understanding Kime might give us insights into, well, focus in general, power generation.
And that mind-body connection, definitely. Stuff that applies way beyond martial arts.
For sure. And the book takes this interesting approach, doesn't it? Starting with the physical.
It does. It builds the foundation physically first, then moves into the mental aspects of Kime. It makes it, I think, much easier to grasp.
Okay, so let's start there. The physical. The book defines Kime right off the bat as this instantaneous coming together of all energy levels.
Physical, thought, and even what it calls subtle energy. It's holistic.
And it stresses that a karate practitioner, really, anyone, is made up of body, mind, and spirit. They have to work together.
Absolutely. You can't separate them if you really want to understand Kime. It starts internally, cultivating this kind of vibrant energy within.
Before you can even project it outwards.
Exactly. You need that internal awareness first.
And they mention a specific exercise for this, the Nishiyama walk.
Ah, yes. That's quite interesting. Very small steps.
Like tiny steps.
Almost shuffling, yeah. And consciently gripping the ground with your toes as you move.
What's the point of that? Just foot strength.
It's more than that. The book says it activates pressure points, helps you feel grounded to absorb energy from the earth.
Makes you think differently about just walking, doesn't it?
It does. It shows how foundational practices connect to deeper energy work, and that leads right into the importance of stances or dachi.
Right, the way you stand. How does that connect to energy flow?
Well, correct stances create stable, balanced structures. They allow energy to flow efficiently without blockages.
And the book focuses on three main ones.
Yeah, it simplifies things by focusing on Zenkutsu Dachi, Kokutsu Dachi, and Kiba Dachi. The basics.
Okay, let's take Zenkutsu Dachi first. That's the forward stance.
Right. The key feelings here are solidity, balance, feet aligned, weight distributed, so your center of gravity is like right in the middle.
Grounded.
Very grounded. And from there, energy accumulates in the tantum.
The tantum, that's like your core, around the belt knot area.
Exactly. The central point where power originates.
Now, the book put a surprising amount of emphasis on the buttock muscles.
Aha, yes. It sounds a bit strange, maybe, but they're presented as crucial, like the ignition switch for energy flow.
For real. How?
It talks about contraction, this forceful push starting from the buttocks and inner thighs as you move forward.
So power isn't just legs pushing off the floor.
No, it originates deeper, engaging those large muscles. And then there's expansion.
Which is?
For the release of that energy, again, triggered by the buttocks, it's this cycle.
Tensing and releasing, all connected.
While staying grounded and aligned, that's how the stance generates power. And the direction your tantum faces, guided by the buttocks, aims that energy.
Okay. And it mentions Hanmi too, half body.
Right. Angling the body slightly, not facing square on, it's protective, makes you a smaller target.
Makes sense.
Duh.
Okay, what about Kokutsu Dachi, the back stance? Similar principles.
Very similar underlying ideas, yeah. Again, buttocks and inner thigh muscles are key drivers.
So moving forward from Kokutsu Dachi.
Involves a contraction. The back foot slides, weight shifts forward initially.
And the expansion?
That's triggered by the rear buttock. A thrust, putting most of the weight back onto that rear foot in the final position. Foot alignment and flexing the rear buttock directs the tantum.
It keeps coming back to that connection. Ground, large muscles, directing energy.
Precisely. And the third one is Kibadachi, horse riding stance.
This one feels very stable, planted.
Yeah. Feet parallel, weight even, gravity centered, very solid.
And the buttocks. Still important.
Still crucial. For maintaining that alignment, keeping the tantum facing forward. The book even mentions a kind of jolting forward of the hips.
The jolt.
Like a sharp, small movement to engage everything correctly. The main point is striving for perfect form. That's how energy transfer happens efficiently. Even static-looking stances need active muscle engagement.
Okay, so that's the foundation, the stances. How does the upper body connect? How do punches and blocks get power from this base?
Good question. The book introduces this idea of a 90-degree relationship in techniques.
90 degrees.
Yeah, using Gedanbarai, the lower block, as the prime example. The ideal form maintains this specific angle,
Even for an arm technique.
especially for an arm technique.
Hmm.
That angle plus hanmi plus eye focus, it all contributes to what the book calls perfect geometric form.
I'm building a strong frame.
Exactly. The angles give it structural integrity,
Yeah.
and then it brings in ki.
Ki, life force. That sounds more abstract.
It is, and the book admits it takes years, decades maybe, to truly grasp and direct ki. It's presented as a driving force within techniques.
Does it explain what Kai is?
Briefly, it mentions the old concepts of yin and yang, passive and active forces as components flowing circularly, but it quickly gets practical again.
Okay, good. So practically, how does the upper body generate force connected to the stance?
While fist formation is important, seems minor, but extending the thumb apparently weakens the energy flow.
Little details matter.
They really do. Then it talks about different driving forces, like hikite.
That's the pulling hand, right? Punch with one arm, pull the other back sharply.
Exactly. That opposing motion dramatically increases power and speed, like creating leverage against yourself.
Okay, what else?
There's hinaru, a circular or twisting force, and basic muscular contraction, like making a tight fist or engaging forearm muscles at impact.
Makes sense. Engaging everything at the right moment.
But maybe the biggest one is body and hip rotation. Chitin.
Hip rotation. Crucial in lots of sports.
Absolutely. And the book drills down into koshi, specifically hip rotation. It distinguishes between two types.
Which are?
Junkaiten, where the hip rotates with the technique. Like in Gedan Barai, the hip moves down and forward with the block.
Okay, and the other?
Gyaku kaiten. That's where the hip rotates in the opposite direction.
Opposite. How does that work?
It's like coiling a spring. You twist against the direction of the technique, then release. It generates a really explosive spring-like force. The book compares it to a golf swing's hip action.
Okay, I can picture that. Winding up.
Exactly. And this ties directly back to the buttocks emphasis from earlier.
Oh, so.
Engaging those muscles correctly directs the belt, not the cantum, and ensures the hips align properly towards the target. It links the lower body power generation directly to the upper body technique.
So it's a whole integrated system. Foundation drives the action.
Perfectly put, it's all connected.
All right, that's a lot on the physical side.
Yeah.
Let's take a breath. The book then moves into mental Kime.
It does, building on that physical understanding.
And it starts by reminding us about the universe being vibrating energy.
Yeah, and that our awareness only picks up a limited range of those vibrations. It sets the stage for thinking about the mind's role.
So mental Kime, it's not just thinking hard.
No, much more than that. The book says it requires knowing and controlling both the conscious mind intellect, ego, and the subconscious, the deeper stuff.
Both levels.
Okay.
That sounds complex.
It is. And
Okay.
interestingly, mastering mental Kime involves developing actual strategies, using your intellect.
Strategies. Like what?
Things like judging distance effectively, understanding rhythm or cadence in combat, maintaining balance under pressure. It's not purely instinctual.
So you need your thinking brain involved too.
Definitely. Though it also touches on more advanced, almost paradoxical concepts.
Like what?
Things like mind, no mind, yomi, mushin, states beyond ordinary thinking. Apparently these were traditionally taught very selectively.
Sounds like deep Zen territory.
A bit, yeah. But bringing it back, the book explains how we accumulate ki, that vital energy, through breathing techniques.
So breath work is key for the mental side too.
Absolutely. But it's not just about storing kai, it's about transforming it through body mechanics.
Yeah.
Using the physical to channel the mental focus.
Unifying mind and body again.
Always. And it even describes sensations associated with accumulating kai.
Oh yeah, like what?
Warmth in the hands, feet, abdomen, maybe even slight queasiness in the stomach sometimes. Physical signs that the energy is building.
Interesting. Tangible feedback.
And once you're aware of this energy, visualization becomes a tool, the mind directing the energy.
How does that work? What kind of visualization?
It gives one specific technique, tubular muscle contraction. You imagine a tight tube around your body, synchronizing the imagined tightening with your breath as you execute a move.
Wow. Using mental imagery to enhance physical action.
Exactly. Another concept is ukimi, lightness or floating.
How do you achieve lightness?
Through very precise footwork, heels and toes touching down simultaneously, cultivating agility.
Okay. But the book really hammers home the idea of intention, right?
Right.
For mental Kime.
Oh, absolutely critical. Intention initiates thought. Thought triggers emotion. Emotion becomes the driving force for action. Controlling that whole chain is vital.
And the quality of the intention matters.
Hugely. It has to be pure, Respectful, nonviolent for powerful Kime. Negative or clouded intentions apparently weaken the energy, make the technique less effective.
Pure intention leads to clearer thought, strong energy.
That's the idea presented, which leads into Nishiyama Sensei's framework: intention, direction, and explosion.
Okay, break that down.
It links everything.
Yeah.
Your focused eyes, intention, direction, your controlled breath, engaging the muscles, and then the technique itself, explosion. It brings it all together in the moment.
And concepts like ukini fit into this.
Yes, ukimi and something called zuiban, which seems to be about maintaining connection or awareness after the technique, are part of this integrated picture.
So mastering intention, what's the outcome?
According to the book, no doubt, no fear. The ability to project more explosive power ki and even to sense the ki or intention of others.
That sounds like a very high level of skill and awareness.
Definitely. A deep integration of the physical and mental training.
So wrapping up, the book really emphasizes how intertwined these are, doesn't it? Physical and mental Kime.
Completely. The physical training, the body awareness, it prepares the ground for the mental focus, for the clarity of intention. You can't really have one without the other at the highest level.
And Kime itself is about bringing all of that body-mind energy into this single focused point in the present moment.
That's the essence of it. Total integration, total focus right now.
Which brings up a thought, maybe for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Think about these ideas: focused energy, intention, the mind-body link outside of karate. Where do they show up in your own life?
That's a great point. Even if you never do martial arts, think about moments where you felt totally focused. All your energies aligned for one purpose.
Maybe hitting a deadline, giving a presentation, even playing a sport or music.
Exactly. That feeling of coming together. How might understanding these principles, even conceptually, apply to challenges you face every day? Something to ponder.